The second Hokage is one of Naruto's most popular characters, but he wasn't exactly in Naruto's manga for a long period of time, which has led to some people calling Tobirama a bit of an overhyped character, and others saying that there's not really enough information about Tobirama to call him a good or a bad character. That's why in today's Naruto Explained video, we're going to be discussing 15 things about Tobirama Senju that you likely don't know if you've only watched the two Naruto animes. So starting things off at number 1, did you know that while Tobirama might be regarded as one of the greatest water release users in the franchise, Tobirama actually was quite a bit of a jack of all trades, being one of the few shinobi who have mastered all 5 changes in chakra nature. The reason why this is such a big deal is, as we're told in the Kosuke suppression art, it usually takes several years of change in chakra nature drill training for shinobi just to master one change in chakra nature, unless you're an exception to the rule like Sasuke, who mastered fire release in a week, shown when Sasuke mastered fire release to impress his father, and lightning release in only a few days of training on the Kakashi and the tuning exams, or if you're an exception like Boruto and you learn chakra natures as fast as Sasuke did. But hey, people ain't ready for that conversation. It's for that reason most shinobi don't strive to master multiple chakra natures beyond the 2 chakra natures that are expected of Jonin caliber shinobi, because instead of spending years of mastering additional changes in chakra nature, each of which will be less powerful than the primary chakra nature unless you're an exception to the rule. However, it says a lot that Tobirama was willing to go forward with aiming to master all 5 changes in chakra nature, because it shows his desire to understand chakra and ninjutsu while being an extremely versatile shinobi. Number 2, did you know that Naruto's anime actually made a pretty big change to Tobirama that you wouldn't be aware of if you've only experienced Naruto through the anime, which for most Naruto fans, that's actually the case. So in Naruto episode 72, when Tobirama and Hashirama are fighting against the 3rd Hokage, we see Tobirama cast Genjutsu, the Infinite Darkness, on the 3rd Hokage, and that's a pretty big problem. Tobirama doesn't know any Genjutsu. If we go by the primary source materials that Masashi Kishimoto wrote in the forms of the Naruto manga and the 8 supplemental Naruto guidebooks. This isn't a change as simple as the anime added in an extra scene in the fight either. It outright changed the scene altogether. In the manga, when this occurs, it's actually Hashirama who performs the Genjutsu on Hiruzen Sarutobi, the 3rd Hokage, but during the anime production, the decision was changed to have it for Tobirama to do it, giving a false impression that Tobirama can use a complex 8-rank Genjutsu when Tobirama literally does not use Genjutsu. This is what ultimately led to some of the Naruto video games attempting to repair the damage made by having both Tobirama and Hashirama perform this jutsu in the Naruto Ultimate Ninja 3 game, which was released on PlayStation 2 and is not to be conformed with any of the Ultimate Ninja Storm games. Number 3, did you know that like a lot of characters in Naruto, Tobirama's name actually has a deeper meaning to it that'll make you appreciate his character more? It's not something super racist against the Uchiha clan either, like some of you guys might be typing down below. Tobirama's name actually explains why he's so quick to invent so many different jutsu and establish the academy system and the tuning exams test. Tobirama's name means a space between doors, but when you break down the letter in this use, Tobira means progress and improvement. That lines up perfectly with him making so many different jutsu as a way to improve upon his own ninjutsu arsenal and the academy school structure to progress academy students to the rank of Genin, and then the tuning exam system was meant to be structured to measure the progress of their improvement as a shinobi in order to reward them with the rank of Chunin. Number 4, did you know that Tobirama's usage of the Edo Tensei is actually more brutal than a lot of fans realize? The act of Edo Tensei itself violates the laws of nature by binding the soul of a dead person to a living body, and it's basically a death sentence for the sacrifice, since they'll die once the soul bound to their body actually is returned to the afterlife. But Tobirama's usage of the Edo Tensei is actually a lot crueler and more calculated than what we saw Orochimaru and Kabuto use Edo Tensei for. Tobirama, when he used the Edo Tensei in the past, would deploy Edo Tensei in a kamikaze-like fashion, attaching exploding tags onto their bodies, leading to an infinite amount of explosions, because when one tag explodes, several more tags will be actually generated, allowing for an enormous amount of damage that continuously blows up the body of the Edo Tensei, causing it to consistently regenerate and blow up all over again, all so that the max amount of damage can be done to the target. Number 5, did you know that while Tobirama might have been the person in the modern era who is credited with creating Edo Tensei, he wasn't actually the first in the universe to use Edo Tensei to revive people from the dead. We learned this in the Naruto retcon story that Edo Tensei has actually existed for several hundreds of years, dating back to the time of the Sage's Sixth Path. During the end of his days, when he was stricken by a deadly chakra illness, business, the Sage of Six Paths returned to Ridaku country, a land where he had visited multiple times in the past. Hagoromo left behind this information on a version of Edo Tensei that would be used by Zanzuru and Gigi during the events of Sasuke Resten, which both got a manga and an anime adaptation. Orochimaru, after leaving Konoha after being confronted by the third Hokage, would travel to Ridaku country in an effort to learn more about Edo Tensei and use this information from Ridaku to attempt to perfect the jutsu that people believe that Tobirama created. Number 6, did you know that Kabuto and Orochimaru weren't the only ones who made an effort to surpass what Tobirama did with Edo Tensei? Whereas Orochimaru and Kabuto were trying to use Edo Tensei to revive the dead as close as they were to their maximum power as possible, with Kabuto during the 4th Ninja War falling just short of bringing back the Edo Tensei to their full power. However, in the Konoha Shinden Steam Ninja Scroll story, which on top of having a novel, also got a Boruto anime adaptation and a Naruto manga adaptation, we learn from the main villain of that story that Edo Tensei is something he's claimed to have made the jutsu improved upon by Ryuki in a way that many people say shouldn't be possible. Ryuki claimed that he could use Edo Tensei to speak to the dead without having to use a sacrificial body, but this will ultimately be proven to be a lie. The method of casting Edo Tensei, it hasn't changed. The fact that someone like Ryuki even thought to think outside the box shows that even decades after his death, Tobirama's original works are still attempting to be approved upon by others. Number 7, while we're on the topic of Edo Tensei, while you likely know that Tobirama created Edo Tensei, or as the English anime calls it, summoning reanimation or worldly resurrection in the English manga, did you know there's actually quite a bit of thought that actually went into the name of Tobirama calling the jutsu Edo Tensei? Like a lot of aspects of Naruto that use Asian culture, Japanese history, Asian religion, Asian mythology, Tobirama's Edo Tensei is no different. While the word Edo Tensei translates into dirty soil, if you look at Buddhism, in particular Japanese Buddhism, you'll actually see where Kishimoto got the name from Edo Tensei from. In Japanese Buddhism, Edo is what is called the living world, where humans have not transcended the flesh and freed themselves of impure thoughts and desires like delusion, greed, lust, and hatred, which are believed to be the root of suffering. This leads to the second part of the name, which is Tensei, which on its face means resurrection, but given the nature of the jutsu where you bind a dead soul to a living body, and ultimately the living body dies when the soul returns to the Pure Land after being destroyed multiple times when regenerating, leading to that living body actually suffering repeatedly, we see the end of suffering as the jutsu ends, because both the dead soul and the soul of the sacrificial body go to the Pure Land. Number 8, this one might be a bit of a fact that math nerds and stat junkies will find themselves more interested in than you will, but did you know it was exactly 500 chapters between the moment Tobirama was first summoned by Orochimaru during the Konoha Crush arc in chapter 118 and when he was summoned by Orochimaru in the 4th Ninja War in chapter 618. If you read Naruto's manga closely, you'll notice that Naruto's creator Masashi Kishimoto has a tendency for certain chapter numbers or events to actually take place. So an example, chapter 400, Sasuke learns about the truth of Itachi. In chapter 500, Naruto learns about the truth of how he was born. In chapter 600, Kakashi says it's no mistake that Obito's the masked man. While every 100 or so chapters, Kishimoto has a tendency for something like that. Kishimoto also has a tendency to play off with making symbolic moments occur after a certain number of chapters pass for big numbers. Case in point is exactly 500 chapters between when Orochimaru summons Tobirama as an Edo Tensei and when he does it again in the war. Number 9, did you know that Tobirama's Edo Tensei has actually been the source of a few retcons in the series? With long-time running manga, there is sure to be moments where retroactive continuity actually occurs, and Tobirama's Edo Tensei is no different. When Tobirama is first revived via Edo Tensei during the events of Naruto 14, if you look closely, there's a stark difference between how he appears there and how he appears in the 4th Ninja War when he's actually revived. In volume 14, Tobirama has a normal face with regular skin and white eyes, but in the volume 65, when Sasuke has Orochimaru revive the Hokage as Edo Tensei, he looks completely different. The eyes are now black, there are now cracks on his face, and there are cracks on the faces of all the Hokage. It's only a design change, no different than Naruto's chakra modes changing designs from the war arc to Naruto the Last to Boruto the movie, but it's something that stands out when you reread the manga. There's no official reason given for why Tobirama looks so much more different than he does as an Edo Tensei that changed changed appearance? The reasonable and likely answer comes down to Kishimoto, when planning out the Naruto war arc, realized that if he was going to do a war involving zombie ninjas, he might want to do something a little bit more noticeable to differentiate between the Edo Tensei and the shinobi who were fighting. The cracks on the face and the black eyes was a pretty wise decision from that perspective. Number 10, did you know that Tobirama as Hokage didn't just have the first ninja war to deal with, but he also had other problems with the Uchiha clan? Tobirama often gets called the racist Hokage, but when he was Hokage, there was actually an attempt by a small number of Uchiha who attempted to overthrow him as Hokage. This group of Uchiha was led by Setsuna Uchiha, another Uchiha we learned in Naruto Database 3 as being one of the Uchiha who had followed in Madara's footsteps and tried to break the clan away from Konoha but failed. Number 11, did you know that Tobirama, while he often gets accused of hating the Uchiha to a point where fans call him racist, that's actually the furthest thing from the truth if we take him at his word. Tobirama tells us in chapter 627 that he doesn't hate the Uchiha so much as he hates anyone who's a threat to the village, which led to him more than once saying during his conversation with Sasuke in volume 65 that there were still Uchiha who came around to Madara's line of thinking, despite most of the members of the clan being people like Kagami Uchiha at the time, loyal to the village. Tobirama said that there were still elements of Madara's rebellion, quote, smoldering, end quote, during this time, which led to him keeping a closer eye on the clan in the event that something ever happened where it produced another Madara, so that other Madara could be dealt with swiftly. Number 12, did you know that despite not being in the manga for a long period of time, Tobirama has actually been in some of the highest number of Naruto video games for characters in the franchise. While he is in all 41 Naruto video games, between 2005 and 2023, Tobirama has been in a total of 17 Naruto video games, but sadly, one of these games is not Naruto Ultimate Ninja 2, which is regarded as the most difficult fighting game in the Naruto franchise, largely due to how overpowered the CPU was for the PS2 game, with it being so broken that it led to a large number of complaints to the game developer CyberConnect to drastically tone down the capability of the CPU for the sequel, which would be the game where Tobirama would make his debut in the series as a playable character, which is a shame. Just given his skill set, if he was in Ultimate Ninja 2, it would have made Tobirama a monster to play against. Number 13, did you know that Tobirama, despite being regarded as one of the most skilled shinobi in the franchise and considered one of the best masters of water release jutsu, he doesn't actually know a ton of water release jutsu? Tobirama, throughout the Naruto manga, anime, and the jutsu file sections of the 4 Naruto databooks for the Naruto manga, is only listed with knowing a grand total of 6 water release jutsu, and 2 of those are actually anime only that were never in the Naruto manga. For reference, Kisame knows almost double the amount of water release jutsu as Tobirama with a grand total of 11 water release jutsu, and Boruto at the age of 12 already knows a third of the water release jutsu that Tobirama learned during his lifetime, despite Boruto only recently mastering water release just before the events of Versus Momoshiki arc. Number 14, did you know that in the Naruto manga and in both Naruto anime, Tobirama is literally the only Hokage we don't see wearing the iconic Hokage hat? Whereas we saw other Hokage wearing this hat, Tobirama chose to forego that tradition, likely because he was Hokage during the first Ninja War, the war that would result in the deaths of the first 2 generations of Hokage, but it's still a pretty interesting observation to make. Number 15, did you know Tobirama's favorite words weren't to say Uchiha scoundrel or them darned Uchiha, but instead his favorite words are mind, body, and technique, and his favorite food is fresh fish that's caught in rivers near Konoha, which we learned in the Naruto database. That's gonna be it for 15 things you didn't know about Tobirama. If you knew all these facts, you are officially a hardcore Naruto fan. Meanwhile, if you enjoyed this video, click here to watch the other videos in this playlist.